Hi guys, so we're going to do the weekly tarot reading. I looked at some of the requests and people want to kind of know about shifting, what's going on. We do have a full moon tomorrow, so we're getting kind of ready for that. Full moon, it's full beaver moon, I believe is what it is. And so people want to talk about the shift, shifting into 5D. We are definitely doing that. If you don't feel it, and stuff, go outside. You'll feel it if you just connect with the earth. But we are definitely shifting. Obviously, I've done a lot of current events reads, so you all can see where, a shift of power is happening. I'm not going to do, try not to touch on that too much, but you never know what my cards may say. But really kind of talk about what to look forward to, because we're not very far from 2021, and I believe everyone is welcoming a shift right now. And as people want me to get a little cosmic, I'm going to do the Starman Tarot, which is inspired by David Bowie. So, and then we'll pull some oracle cards, from a little bit of Starseed, for all the Starseed messages. So let's see what's going on. Okay. So kind of looking forward to this. This is a hard one to shuffle, so hopefully, oh my God, it's going to be hard. Maybe, yeah, let's do it this way. This is what I do when I can't shuffle a deck, is I look at what pops out. So we've got the first one. And the second one. Oh, okay. So there might be a little bit of stuff going on with what's been going on in the world, because Spirit likes to talk about it. So the very first card is the Two of Pentacles reverse. And definitely through 2020, everything was really out of balance. Everybody's been kind of just juggling and everything. As you could see, this is the juggler and stuff. Look at the images on this. I love this deck. But everybody's just trying to get their balance. And it's been very challenging, very difficult to be able to do that during the year. And then we've got the Seven of Swords. So we've got the challenges, of course, with, all the backstabbing and the betrayal and the dishonesty that we've been going through. But karma is now starting to come, okay? And everything, so Spirit's starting to hold people accountable for their actions, which it was. So what side you are on in 2020, hopefully you've been good boys and girls, because a lot of people are going to have to, things are becoming exposed. And that's one of the things that the Seven of Swords can be about, is things being exposed. This deck is a very intense deck, guys. Get ready for a wild ride. At the foundation is death. And see, that's one of the things, is letting go of the old. There's so many people that have been trying to hold on to an old way of doing things, but there is this shift that Spirit is really pushing for evolution, and Spirit is pushing hard. And that's why, really 2020, it's a very tower moment. It's been very destructive, and a breaking down of all these programs. We've done a lot of the breaking down. Coronavirus, definitely, just think that little tiny virus, what it, was able to destroy in so many ways. But now, we're dealing with the death energies, many things coming to an end. Obviously, we have, President, Trump's reign is over. We're going to be shifting into a new president, hopefully a new cycle that is more positive. That is what a lot of people are hopeful. And death is really signifying that. There are some people say it's not over, this, that. But, when you see the death card, if you're trying to continue anything, you're just trying to breathe life into a corpse. Nobody can reanimate it. So now we're dealing with those heavy energies. We're just coming out of Scorpio and so forth with those heavy Scorpio energies shifting into Sagittarius. We're ready. We're ready. So, a lot of this, we had our crumbling, but now we're facing the endings and so forth. Let's see what we got going on here. Yes, and we've got the Three of Pentacles. Now, Three of Pentacles it's especially about business partnerships and so forth. A lot of that, agreements that people have made and everything. I would say this card is showing up as I'm kind of focusing on more of the shifting into 5D. is certain agreements that we've kind of made before coming here, into the 3D and so forth, that they're starting to become aware of what those are. A lot of our soul contracts are really coming to fruition now. Spirit's like, no, there's no more time to wait. It's time to take action now. This is your soul contract. And some of you may have been postponing certain things with your soul contract about things to do. I know in the group I've got a lot of readers, I've got a lot of healers, the Reiki and everything going on. I've got a lot of people who are meant to be teachers even. These soul contracts are coming up, what Spirit's wanting people to do to get out and awaken humanity. So especially that's what I feel. And I noticed the reversal of the Three of Pentacles, that people have been postponing that, but it's kind of like Spirit's going, what are you waiting for? It's time now. It's time to honor these commitments that you made upon getting here. And see, that's what we've got, the Four of Swords. Many have been just kind of waiting for, what is my next move? What am I supposed to do? Look at that image. Isn't that beautiful? But, that is what it is. It's about rest and retreat. And there is a lot of light workers and a lot of star seeds and Arcturians and Pleiades, all of them, that have been just sitting there waiting. When do I make my move? When do I come out? I see that's what Spirit is saying. Your soul contract. You're becoming aware of it now. You're aware of the agreements. Now, let me talk a little bit. When we say soul contracts, I don't want you to sit there and think you sat there, with someone and you actually signed something. I really don't see it like that. I really see the contract, which is like, the journey of souls and all that. More of agreements that we make, that this is what I'm going to do. This will be my task. This will be my task. This will be my task, which has, also your own personal evolution, but also what you will do with that, evolution that you do yourself. So, especially these things are reaching fruition during this time. So many have been just kind of waiting on the sidelines before they take action. And then as I drew that, right above the Four of Swords is the High Priestess. So many of the intuitives. And I want you to kind of notice there's a strong feminine energy that is going to be coming through for 2021. A very strong feminine energy. I know even Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, if you look in the news, they're picking a lot of women for their team. So, and that was one of the things, even when I was reading, and I feel it was not just the Vice, but when I was reading certain changes that were going to take place, I said, I feel a very strong feminine energy is coming forward. So a lot of the women leaders are going to be popping up. A lot of women leaders. You're going to see them like you've never seen them before. And it's time. Many of these women are very evolved. Now, I do have the Ten of Pentacles, and that does have to do with money and wealth and so forth. But one of the things is, this has been the driving force of this country for so long. It's about money and so forth. So I feel like some things are going to change in that what we value the most. What really is valuable in the Ten of Pentacles energy. Without bank account, 401k, home, car, this, that. Spirit's going to really bring to task for people what is really valuable. What is really that which is important. Now, I look at the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse position. Economy is going to be a big issue with 2021 and going into this shift. But we also do have Eight of Pentacles can be my employment card. There's still going to be, we're still dealing with the collapse and so forth. So we're going to have more situations with people losing jobs and everything. But I have noticed as a reader, I read for a lot of people who lost their job over 2020. But I also notice it's almost inevitable that Spirit is really pushing people, that were maybe doing jobs that weren't in alignment with their spirit, that Spirit has gotten them in that position because they're like, now I want you to follow your passion. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Especially the spiritualists are being heavily affected. that maybe they weren't in alignment with their purpose at that point in time. Spirit wants them to go do those spiritual pursuits. Maybe they always worked in an office, but they want them to be that nurse. Maybe they want them to be that caregiver. Maybe they want them to be that healer. Maybe they want them to be that massage therapist. Some kind of healing modality, going on. Maybe they want them to be that psychic reader, life coach, various things that can help people. Now, I do like the fact I've got the Seven of Cups in the reverse position. This is good because this is a very illusory card, and it's especially about choices. It can be an addictions card for me. But I look at the reversal, a lot of our choices that we made that were like castles built on the sand. Notice the Eight of Pentacles is below it in the reverse position. Maybe certain jobs we took that weren't in alignment with our purpose. But we're also going to face certain things, choices that may have, strayed us away from our path a little bit. A lot of people are going to kind of look at that and go, I'm not on the right path. People, there's this push from spirit, okay? If we're going to push into 5D consciousness, spirit's going to push people hard. They've definitely been pushing hard in 2020, but about certain choices that people have made and so forth, they're going to be held accountable. Now, I love this Queen of Wands. Look at this image, how powerful it is. So that's another thing. I do read for a lot of women, and I'm 85% women in my group. I've always said that. It's a lot. But especially Spirit wants the women coming out and using their personal power and taking those leadership positions. Just like even what I was saying, we're going to see that in the White House. Once Joe Biden's sworn in, his team is going to be in there, and there's going to be a lot of women. He's getting a lot of women, and I'm sure Kamala is behind that. We're going to have that strong feminine energy, and that's what's really going to shift. Things have been unbalanced for a long time as far as it's masculine, and where's that got us? And I don't feel it should go all women, okay? But we've always needed some kind of balance with that. So I feel like one of the things we're really going to be shifting into is, and it may get a little strong feminine, as we shift in the beginning to kind of force some of this overly masculine energy out a little bit and then go strong feminine. But then everything's going to kind of go like this and start balancing in 2021. So be prepared for that. But there's a strong feminine presence that I have been feeling for a while, where it's going to come out. Now, I do have the Princess of Pentacles, and Spirit really seems to be emphasizing this, not only opportunities, but education to really get out there, that a lot of people need to do this, hence the reversal. I look at that about taking up certain studies and things like that. 2020, some people just kind of sat there and just kind of dwelled on the destruction. But Spirit's like, no, I want you to really learn lessons from this. Because that's one of the things the Princess of Pentacles or Page of Pentacles is about, is especially about learning those valuable lessons and so forth. And what is the meaning behind all this? What is the bigger picture? That's especially, and that is in the self position, so that applies for everyone. It is hard to see the big picture. There's so much going on. I can barely keep up with it myself. What is the purpose with all this? I can feel it, but putting it into words can be very challenging for me. I know this collapse was inevitable. It's like a tower moment because we were building a very unstable tower, getting taller and taller, especially in this country, but really in other places around the world. And that's where it was inevitable that it was going to come down. It can't keep going like this, rich getting rich and poor getting poorer, and the endless struggle and, racial division and so forth. And then I've got the Strength card in the reverse position. And a lot of people, they lost their power during 2020. And we need that, because strength especially is power. But especially it's Spirit that is weakening them. It is really the Spirit that is weakening them. That who had the strong arm, of this country and so forth, those in power positions, they're losing their power. I'm getting a lot of reversals, man. And then I've got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position. So a lot of the feminine energy and so forth. I believe it's reversing, not necessarily that the Queen of Pentacles reversing is a bad, Queen of Pentacles is not a bad card, but especially, there's been a lot of money oriented, economy oriented, wealth oriented things. And I feel like the women are going to be coming in, just like I was talking about with the Ten of Pentacles energy up here, is look at what do you value. It's almost like the Queen of Pentacles, by reversing herself, is also emphasizing that certain actions you were taking, you did not respect, the power of the Pentacles. That seems to be what it is, and that's kind of coming in here. That's what she is saying. You did not respect the power of the Pentacle, which can be the money and the wealth and the finances and the stability and so forth. People were abusing that power, and that's why she's kind of drawing back. You could kind of say that goddess energy is kind of drawing back, her power, and she's like, okay, I'm going to strip some of you, of your wealth, so you can see what really is valuable. And that seems to be some of the energy, people even having a tough time economically, and I know it's very stressful and strainful. That's kind of what Spirit is doing, is now I want you to see what's value. Things that you think you needed, you really didn't. Now you see that you went without certain things. Now you can focus on really, these are the things I need that are most important, and stuff like toilet paper. Just kidding. And then we have the outcome card, the Seven of Wands. We're still going to have to stand up for certain causes, and that is going to push us into 5D. But what causes are worth fighting for? That's the thing. What causes are worth fighting for? There were some people taking up causes that were not necessarily important or good or things like that, but there were some definitely that were very, very important and critical to take up, and so forth. And I love this. This is one of the things, if we're going to ascend into 5D, we've got to lighten the load, the heaviness of the 3D. We've got to lighten the load. The Ten of Wands is about dropping those burdens. So the good thing is, a lot of things that burdened us for a long time, when you lose things, you get lighter. That is one of the things about it. When you lose certain things, you do get a little bit lighter. When you live without certain things that you're used to having, something kind of lightens up and is a little bit easier. And then I just drew the Prince of Pentacles. So we had the Princess of Pentacles. I have them side by side each other, both the Prince and Princess, especially about, so it's important to educate ourselves during this time, and certain things that we began to live without, in 2020, because they were kind of stripped from us. Now we can look at that. Maybe I don't need those things again. Maybe your car got repoed and it was a really nice car, and then you downsized to a little clunker. Is it working though? Does it drive you? Is it getting by? You don't have a payment now. Just certain things materialistic. I feel there was a massive, that's one of the biggest things that broke down. And if we're going to do that, we've got to let go of some of these attachments into 3D if we're going to ascend to 5D, what is most important. Let's draw some oracle cards. I love that deck there. You see the images, David Bowie, man. Oh, God rest his soul. We have the same birthday, January 8th. I have the same birthday as him. So let's draw some oracle. I guess I could go down for you guys again. So we've got Imra. Where are you being called to journey to? Well, one of the things is we're going to journey to 5D. But one of the things that has come up a lot with readings that I have been doing, that it seems like vacation and take a trip has really been a message of Spirit, which I know is kind of hard to do in a pandemic, but Spirit really does seem to be emphasizing to people to get away, to get out of their homes and go somewhere like in nature, places like that. I know Sedona is something I definitely want to do. But, some place where you can really connect with the Spirit, inevitably when the pandemic hopefully calms down, like spiritual retreats. And then I've got Akasha. Your guidance is divinely, wait, yes, your guidance is divinely guided. So especially the Akasha records and people being able to tap into them, to look at the past, to look at the present, where we've come from and going beyond, that door is going to open. And I kind of look at that, and I have been noticing that as far as the Akasha records, is that a lot more people are starting to have access to them. You know, that you will especially note it in your dreams. If you've ever had dreams about walking in a massive library, you probably found the Akashic records, because that's what it really is. It's like a massive library with a record of everything that's ever been. So it's pretty overwhelming and amazing, but somehow people know where to go to find the right book in there. And then, of course, the Council of Light is definitely involved with ascending. And like it says, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. So they are definitely very active during this time and guiding us. It's kind of like that. We feel that energy. They've been here before, definitely with the Atlantean energy, for example, you know, and they fell. And, you know, right now, we haven't completely fallen like that. We've still got a little bit of time, but we've got to stop resisting the messages of spirit that they're trying to give us, that we got to evolve. We got to stop resisting evolution. Hence why the death card is at the foundation in my layout today. And then I've got the card Unbound. And look at that. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So the only way to really release that soul contract and so forth, you know, is, you know, to get those agreements going and take care of them, you know, so then we're like, okay, we're free. So that is one of the energies definitely evolving into 5D. I mean, look at them, you know, that is exactly what they're doing, is they're ascending. We want to do that, you know, and you may not, as we shift, I mean, yeah, we're still going to be on Earth, okay? But you will notice there is a change and a transformation, you know, definitely in the air and even among people that you are around, even if they are not necessarily conscious beings, you know, like conscious of things like this. You can still notice subtle changes in them as well. I'm going to draw a few more. And just as I was saying that, relationships. I am surrounded by relationships of love, harmony, balance, abundance, and much more. So that's what I'm talking about. Maybe certain people are not conscious that you can necessarily see yourself, but it doesn't mean they're not being affected. It doesn't mean they're not being shifted and transformed. And then I've got the card Respond, and that is very important. I respond to all situations, circumstances, events, and people with unconditional love, integrity, and excitement. So that is true. How we respond with unconditional love, that helps you shift, and that also helps humanity shift. I have noticed, definitely, you know, on Facebook and so forth, you know, a lot of people just, you know, they just go at it and so forth. You know, they're just, you know, arguing with each other and being, you know, very dramatic with people they don't even know. That if they sat there and just had a conversation other than about the crazy topics of today, maybe they would be friends. You know, maybe they would be. But, you know, they're so hung up with looking for a fight, looking for a battle. And you know what it's really about? These people that, you know, maybe they're at 2 a.m. arguing with someone on the CNN website, you know, is they've got a lot of pent up frustration, and they're frustrated, you know, really with their life and the way things are going. And they're, you know, they may not be conscious about it, but they're looking for somebody to get all that out and vent it on, you know, and then they see a target. Oh, this person is talking about stuff and I'm frustrated, and they vent it out. So there's a lot of people with a lot of pent-up frustration, but they're going about it wrong way. You know, one of the things is getting out in nature and just send all that frustration down. And it seems like it wouldn't do anything, but it really does, because you send it all down and then you draw up that good energy of earth and just cleanse your whole field. And it really does, get that negativity off you. There's so many other ways than looking for a battle. That's the thing. I mean, I'm not saying don't stand up, but even look at the card. Does my life have more room for pleasure or play? And that's one of the things, we've got to enjoy life, have a good time. Even despite all this craziness in 2020, we can't be serious all the time. We've got to try to find, make good times happen, because that also lightens everything. I also have the card, what expectations do I have that are impossible to meet? So I feel like some people, they may be mistaking their soul contract for something that is immensely impossible. Okay? And Spirit does not send you down here with agreements to do that which you can't do. You can handle these things. And then I also have, where am I called to use my voice right now? This is a big 2020 card and stuff. And so, yes, we're going to still have to use our voice. But how we use our voice, that really is the main thing. How do we use our voice in, especially going forward in 2021? But I feel like you all are going to definitely see that shift in consciousness. It's already happening. And, just like the death card, at the foundation, there are people trying to breathe life into a corpse, but I want to keep it the old way, where the rich get rich and the poor get poor, and it works that way, and people are working for pennies on the dollar and they can barely pay. Yeah, let's keep it that way. No, and Spirit's like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. Things are going to change and stuff. We're going to break down some of these structures. We need new blood, and we need new blood in there, fresh eyes on situations with new ideas and open to the possibilities. Stop doing things the same old way that does not work. That's especially what we're doing, is getting it fresh, and that's part of ascension.